Let's see. Let's do a little test how everything sounds. I'm quite curious. There we are. Can I hear myself? I can hear myself. There doesn't seem to be any sound. There's enough sound. I mean, there doesn't even seem to be any interference on the microphone. The transmitter is in my back pocket. But here we are, day 350. I'm back after 1 week. I had bruised my foot, and on top of that, I, um, well, everyone at home got sick. Let's just leave it at that for the week. And it skipped me this week, but taking care of ill family members takes time and its toll, so didn't really have time to do anything this week, and I was very happy that yesterday I felt well enough, everyone feels well enough again, that I was brave enough to say I am going to try to pick up working out tomorrow morning again and get back at it. So here we are. I do need to put some tape around my wrists, but once that's done, we are going to get started for sure. You can see I've set up my 12 kilo and my 16 kilo over there. No, sorry, my 12 kilo and my 8 kilo over there, because I haven't really done a lot throughout the week, and I still don't 100% trust my foot. So we're going to take it easy today, and we're going to see what we can and cannot do, given the circumstances with my bruised foot, because the last thing I want to do this morning is to push myself back into an injury that then is likely not going to disappear within the week, but might actually stick around for a bit longer. So that's what I'm up to this morning. But what about you? What are you up to this morning? I'd love to hear from you and understand what you're doing and where you are in your fitness journey. This December 8th, I believe, is where we're at. So we are really rapidly approaching the end of the year, and I'm pretty sure that you've started to see all of the get ready for your fitness journey in 2025 videos popping up. Levy. Ah. Actually, it could be quite soothing, but I 100% agree. And sorry about that for stepping off stream. Thank you for making me smile and laugh this morning, and I hope you're doing well where you are in the world. Levy and Joshua Lopez, thanks. We are going to get started in about 1 minute. For those of you who are watching and who don't know me, my name is Toby. I am 40 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do that by minding my sleep, try to get 7 to 9 hours a night, minding what I eat, which last week has been just terrible in terms of food management, but it was a strange week, so I forgive myself, and I look forward to the rest of this weekend and this week. Strength training, conditioning training, and mobility training, as well as doing things I enjoy, spending time with people I care about, and living a generally stress-free life. So those things hopefully will help me stay healthy and strong throughout my 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and who knows, apparently we might turn 80 or 90 in life. So let's see how far we get and how long we'll keep training. This is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. I train to feel fit and competent and capable for whatever life is going to throw at me, and it could be many different things. As we learned, and I've noticed a big difference since I started to train regularly 30 minutes every day, whether it's mobility, strength, or conditioning. So I would only say that anyone might notice a change if they are consistent and smart about the way they train and treat and use their bodies. We're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And I say this because I think we sometimes forget that it is the person we are today who's going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow. And a bit of kindness will go a long way, because there are enough people out there who want to put us down. So we need to just lift ourselves up, friends, and make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. And the only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So, like I said, I have a slight injury in my foot, or have had, should be gone, but I still don't 100% trust my foot. We're going to see how well the training today goes, and we're not doing anything heavy or crazy. YouTube Punk, hey, hello friend, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. I hope you're well. Thanks for the well wishes under my community post last week. I appreciate that. And as you can see, I am up and running again, and we're doing all right-ish, given the circumstances. How about you? How are you doing? I hope you're doing all right in Texas. I hope the training's been going well for you. Why don't you let me know in the comments or in the chat how things are going. And we're just walking out, by the way, and getting ready to activate the body. No backflips today, no. sad fact of my life is that I was never able to do a handstand, a cartwheel, backflips, or front flips. And maybe that's because I learned a bit too late in life how to apply myself. I'm going to look from side to side. Just using that neck. Now, this has been such a strange week. And I can tell you that not doing anything for a whole week on the one hand was fine, because it's what helped me focus on, well, letting my foot recover, but also helping my family get better after everyone catching this winter's bug. So that was good. But there was a point after 3 or 4 days where I just started to feel lethargic, like something was missing, and I know exactly what it was, right? All being able to go out, not waking up first thing and doing my training and exercises, but instead ending up going to bed later, progressively, later and later, and just slowly slipping back into a different routine and habit that had me in bed by midnight. I also a new phone. From December for the family. New phones are always a headache. I actually also got a new corporate phone because of the screen breaking after it fell, and you have to transfer all of the apps and God knows what. Definitely headache. And it's good that you're getting that program um, from your friend. It's nice and kind of them to help you out in that way. And you seem to be quite serious about working out and being consistent, specifically with kettlebells. There's something about the right shoulder that's been bothering me for a few days. So let's just keep that in mind. But yeah, so that's cool. I'm happy to hear that you're going to get that schedule from your friend. I hope that that schedule is one that, and program is one that's going to help you work towards the goals and stay motivated for what you're doing. As we've covered over the last year, now literally a year, yeah, being consistent is the key, and being consistent is one of the hardest things to do when it comes to the health and fitness for just about everyone. That's all good. As long as we remember that we're on a journey for life, and the only goal that I have generally is to show up every day for 30 minutes and do some work. So that's the way to be consistent. 365 days a year, plus or minus 30. So on a good year, we could say, hey, we're not going to get sick, we're not going to get injured. We can show up 365 days. And average or regular year, I'd say you might find that about 30 days of the year something comes up that prevents you from doing anything. It is a good stretch. Thanks, Joshua. I'm glad you find it interesting and insightful on what we're doing. I appreciate the feedback and the insight from your end. And YouTube Punk, yes, it was a terrible week with the family, but it just goes to show how important being fit and healthy is. If anything, it puts being healthy back into perspective in a good way. We shouldn't take being healthy and able and fit and strong for granted. I don't think anyone here on the channel actually does. I think we just are regular old people who are going through life every day trying to make the most of it. And one of the ways to make the most of it is by simply leaning into getting fit and healthy over time. Well, that's what we're doing here, step by step, day by day. So yeah. To be honest, right, so started to feel a bit lethargic, started to feel a bit out of it, and you start to notice the rhythm slipping. Getting up at 5 a.m. every day for a workout is a commitment, right? And it is quite a schedule. And to be very honest, you can be quite surprised that this year I managed to do that nearly every day. So that's quite a good thing and an impressive thing for myself to have been that consistent in 2024, becoming fit at 40. Now we're going to be fit at 41. We're just going to keep going. Because we have a cadence, we have technique, we're seeing results. All right. And this investment generally is going to pay off. And it's already paying off in terms of regaining mobility in my left shoulder. Probably gonna have to do some work on my right shoulder this year and my left hip, but that's because we're not 25 anymore. And 15 years can make all the difference physically. So, what's on the schedule the last weeks of the year? Well, we've got quite a few things actually, because Christmas and New Year's are coming up. There is one more long form video I want to make. So here I can feel in my left foot, by the way, something is still slightly off. So we're making the right decision by taking it easy this morning. But what are we talking about? We're talking about the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks of the year. Hey, Poor Man's Gym, what's going on? I'm doing all right. Good to see you. Glad to see you online. Hope you're doing well. Hope the workouts are going strong through December. Haven't been on my phone a lot this week, so I probably have a couple of videos that I need to catch up on. And Mel B, hello Mel B, thanks for dropping by, saying hi. I hope you're doing well where you are in the world. I appreciate you coming back and saying hi, letting me know that you're still watching, and I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, I think Poor Man's Gym is probably hitting those numbers every day, YouTube Punk. He's in a league of his own. And that's an interesting fact about snails. Dogs are better than people. I didn't know that, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing that with me and letting me know. Because now I do know. So, this health and fitness thing at 40, right? I mean, if you're like me, and for those of you who are watching, my name is Toby. I'm 40 years old, and I'm training to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. Now, I do that by minding my sleep 7 to 9 hours, minding what I eat, try to eat well, try to eat 120 to 150 grams of protein in a day. And I do that through strength, conditioning, and mobility training. And we have quite the challenges ahead of us this year. So I think the last 2 weeks of this year, and there's one more video I want to make, which is just a reflection on this year. So that's something that I'll be working on. Then, when that's done, and it's going to be a really short video, but just like a month by month with one key insight from every month on how we got here. This was going to be a nice log for next year, like a rewind or a yearly review with some old footage of the year. Now, once that's done, we have the last 2 years of fitness ahead of us. I'm just going to try to keep the schedule 30 minutes. First thing in the morning, get up, do a workout, and get on with the day. But if you're like me, you might have noticed that is getting harder and harder to do in December. Maybe. Where I'm at least for me, it's something to do with the fact that it's cold, something to do with the fact that the days are short, like sun up at 8, after 8 a.m., sundown slightly before 5 p.m. And there's not a lot of hours of sunlight in a day, right? So worth just keeping in mind what's going on there. And generally, a lack of sunlight that is, to say the least, going to get on my mood. So the remedy is to try to spend at least an hour a day outside in the middle of the day when the sun is brightest, to make sure that my body gets enough exposure. And I think one of the compounding factors is that in winter, when there's little sun, it's also cold, so we cover up more of our bodies. And when we cover up more of our bodies, there's less surface area that gets exposed to the sun. That's how we make vitamin D, right? Which is one of those mood enhancers. So, a lot of small and simple challenges on our path. Yeah, it's hibernating season. So, is that, are those your goals for 2025? I think I think that sounds about right. Eat better, sleep better, live better. Yeah, and I guess hibernating, definitely, definitely nice. But in this case, we have goals that we're trying to keep up with, and we need to make sure that we are actually keeping up with the goals and that we keep going. And exactly to your point, when we have time. But when do we actually have time in our 40s with a career and 2 kids to sleep in with everything that needs to happen, right? All right, I'm going to just warm up here. Full body, flow, a little lightweight. I'm just going to do a couple of things, a little lightweight for a few minutes. See where I can feel some tightness in my legs after a week of not doing anything. And we just want to be mindful of that. See that YouTube punk? I'm learning how to coordinate my free hand in the swing better and better after that pointer you gave me a while back in the comments. All right. We still have the Cossack squat. And we have some hip mobility drills that I skipped that we need to do. I think that's exactly the thing, right? With resolutions, we tend to trick ourselves into thinking that the resolution is going to solve the problem. But the thing is, I can tell you this from my experience this year, showing up day by day by day, is that showing up and doing anything for 30 minutes is going to bring us so much more than any resolution ever would. And that's not to bash anyone who's making resolutions, but I think instead of looking at a whole year, just looking at a day and saying, hey, this is what I want this day to be like, and then moving on to the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. until we find our rhythm is probably going to pay off more and more dividends over the course of a lifetime. So, as far as New Year's resolutions go, and you heard me last week as well, talking about how maybe I want to lean out, do things a bit differently, work on my strength, work on my conditioning, build some muscle. But in the end, the only way that any of that's going to happen is if I show up every day and do a workout. If I take breaks from the workout, if I'm sleeping well, if I'm eating well, and if I'm generally able to stay motivated throughout the year. So finding something I enjoy, showing up every day for 30 minutes to do one of the things that I enjoy, reminding myself that rest is as important as working out, and not trying to get everything done in the first 14 or 30 days of the year, but actually taking a bit of a longer view, trying to take the time across 365 days and seeing where we end up by the end of the year. That's going to go with ups and downs. Like remember last year, January, I started body weight exercises very enthusiastically, got kettlebells, did some kettlebell trainings, got excited, had a neck hernia, set back for 6 weeks, couldn't work out properly, only walking and stationary biking, then picking back up again, getting back into it, completing my certification personal trainer, going on this amazing holiday in the mountains where I was walking, and while I was walking, realizing how fit I'd become over the last 6 months or 7 months, because I was able to carry 12 and 16 kilos on my back on hikes through the mountains, to coming back this year, continuing to work out, building momentum, learning more about kettlebell, then hurting my arm slightly, and still working on this pain in my shoulder, going through that, getting better, getting full mobility back in my upper body, which is great. And my arm, thankfully, not a permanent injury, just some discomfort. So I may have, sprained or overstrained a tendon or something in my arm with poor technique, to now having injured my foot again, but still being here a week later when the foot's better, showing up and doing the work. So there are a lot of ups and downs on a journey like that. And I think one of the things we tend to forget is that it's not 30 days and then we're fit for life. It's doing a little bit every day that keeps us at a good level of health and fitness throughout, just in So he's a beast. He's a nerd. Or Justin. I know. I measure the distance and I keep an eye on it for sure. But I appreciate you reminding me to be mindful of that. All right, we're going to do one more set of thrusters in a moment, and then we're going to call it a day for today. After I do a little bit more hip mobility, and then I think we've got a pretty good read of where my body sits at the moment in terms of my health and fitness. After a week of just not quite getting around it. And by the way, do you hear myself beating myself up over all of the things that I didn't do this week? No, not at all. In fact, sometimes taking a week off actually can be quite refreshing in and of itself. So, after my recap video, I think what I might start doing with you is also going through how I'm preparing my training schedules on a monthly basis next year, because we'll have different goals for different months. And I think it's probably interesting to hear how I'm working towards that 20 kilogram snatch in 2025. Perhaps. But that was 30 minutes this morning, and it's good to be back. Friends, for those of you watching, my name's Toby. I'm 40 years old and I train to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep, minding what I eat, strength training, conditioning training, mobility training, trying to live a stress-free life, spending time with people I love and care about, and generally doing things that I enjoy. I think it's a good recipe for happiness. If you're interested, you go ahead, subscribe to my channel, and we can continue this conversation under my shorts on the live stream or with some of my long forms. And if you're interested in starting Kettlebell, I've got some tutorials on my channel, and I also link to some other very good Kettlebell channels that I think are worthwhile. Remember, when it comes to changing habits, that extra glass of water, trying to find 10 minutes to go for a walk, trying to find 15 minutes to wind down before bed, and trying to add that one extra portion of protein to one of our meals, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. What have we been learning? Trying to do those challenges, and just keep trying to do those challenges throughout the end of the year. And you'll see that when you want to make a New Year's resolution, you might have a slightly better understanding and idea of what's going to help you actually make a sustainable change in life. That's all I've got for you today, friend. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi. YouTube Punk, Mel B, Poor Man's Jim, Justin, Dogs Are Better Than People, and Jonathan Lopez. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all doing well in December. Like I said, I am on a slight low, and I understand why. Dark days, lack of sunlight, slight lack of movement this week with quite a bit of stress. So good to remind myself, working out feels really good. Gets my mood up. I'm going to spend some time outside today in the fresh air, because moving outside in the fresh air and the sunlight as much as we can is a mood booster. And generally just knowing that this too will get better once January comes and the days start getting longer and the sun comes out again. Take care, friends. Be well. remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. There are enough people out there who want to put us down, so let's make sure we keep lifting ourselves up. And if you're interested in what I'm doing, go ahead, subscribe to my channel. The only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'll see you on one of my next streams, friend. Take care.